We all have these huge goals, these big dreams we want to chase. But if we're being real for a second, how many of them actually make it to the finish line? Turns out the secret isn't some lightning bolt of motivation. Nope. It's something much quieter, something you can do every single day. So let's dive in and really unpack the power behind getting what you want out of life. We have all been there, right? January 1st hits, you're fired up, you're going to change everything. And then a few weeks go by, and that fire just kind of burns out. It's this super frustrating cycle. But what if I told you the problem isn't your motivation? What if it's something else entirely? The real game changer, the secret sauce, is consistency. Today, we're breaking down the amazing blueprint from Weldon Long's The Power of Consistency. And listen, this isn't just some nice theory. This guy, Long, used these exact principles to pull himself up from rock bottom and build a multi-million-dollar company. So how'd he do it? Well, it all starts in your head. Okay, so before you can even think about building new habits, you gotta lay the right foundation. And that foundation, it's not a fancy planner or a new productivity app. It's your mindset. Long is convinced that our thoughts literally create our reality, because what we believe is possible ends up dictating the actions we're willing to take. He calls this the prosperity mindset. And let's be super clear here, this is not about positive vibes only or pretending problems don't exist. It's about actively training your brain to see solutions, to see success as the default setting. You're basically rewiring yourself so that taking productive, consistent action feels like the most natural thing in the world. Just think about it. When you hit a snag, what's your first reaction? Do you see a dead end, a total brick wall, or do you see a puzzle that needs solving? A scarcity mindset just stares at the wall and gives up. But the prosperity mindset, it's already looking for a way to get over it or around it, turning that roadblock into a detour, an opportunity. And that right there is the difference between being stuck and actually moving forward. This quote from Long just nails it. Our thoughts are the tools we're using to build our entire lives. So if you're looking at your life and you're not thrilled with the results, the first place to look isn't what you're doing, it's what you're thinking that's driving those actions in the first place. All right, so you've got the mindset. That's the fuel in the tank. But you still need an engine to actually go somewhere, and that engine is a super practical system for turning those powerful thoughts into real-world action. This is the heart of Long's method, the consistent action formula. Now, this formula looks almost too simple, but that's where its power lies. It's just 3 steps. First, you have to get absolutely 100% crystal clear on what you want. No vague wishes. Second, you take that giant goal and you break it down into tiny bite-sized pieces. And third, you build a daily routine around those little pieces until doing them is as automatic as brushing your teeth. Let's really dig into that first step. Getting clear is everything. A fuzzy goal like, I want to get in shape, is basically useless because you never know if you've achieved it. But a SMART goal, something like, I'm going to jog for 30 minutes 3 times a week for the next 3 months. Now that's a target. You know exactly what you need to do, which makes it so much easier to just do it. And now for step 2, which is the ultimate secret to not getting overwhelmed. A goal like write a book just sounds impossible, right? It's terrifying. But what about write 250 words every morning? That actually sounds doable. By breaking your huge vision down into these small daily actions, you create a string of little victories that build your confidence and make the whole journey feel possible. So how do you keep track of all this? This is where a really important tool comes into play, what Long calls your prosperity plan. Just think of it like your personal GPS for success. It's one place where you write down your big vision, make sure it connects with what you really care about, your values, and then you map out the specific daily and weekly tasks that'll get you there. And it's not some rigid document. It's a living thing. You tweak and adjust as you go. Okay, so once you have the right mindset and a clear plan of attack, something really cool starts to happen. Every little consistent step you take starts to build on the one before it, and you begin to create this powerful force that is so hard to stop. You start building momentum. This idea is absolutely critical. In the beginning, you might feel like you're not making any progress at all. It can feel so slow. But here's the magic trick of consistency. Your efforts don't just add up, they compound. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but with every rotation, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and faster until it becomes this unstoppable force. And you can actually see how this works. Your daily effort might stay exactly the same, but look at the results over time. they start to just take off. At some point, you hit this tipping point and the progress becomes exponential. And that is the massive reward you get for just showing up every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. But look, let's be realistic. The journey is never going to be a perfectly straight line. Life happens. You're going to face setbacks and challenges that try to knock you off course. So how do you protect that momentum when things get hard? This is where that foundation you built really saves you. First, you use your prosperity mindset to reframe the problem not as a disaster, but as a chance to learn and grow. Then, you cling to your daily routine. No matter how chaotic things get, that routine becomes your anchor, your source of stability. And of course, you use positive self-talk and lean on the people who support you to help you push through. Which brings us to the final crucial piece for building that unstoppable momentum: accountability. Think of it as the guardrails on the highway. It's the system that holds everything in place and keeps you on track, especially when your own motivation starts to fade. A really solid accountability system has a few different layers. It starts with you, self-accountability, just using a journal or a tracker to be honest with yourself. Then you have a mentor, someone who's already walked the path and can give you advice. And finally, there's peer support, a community of people on the same journey. When you have that kind of structure around you, it becomes so much harder to give up. So, we've talked about mindset, we've got the action formula, and we know how to build momentum. Now let's bring it all home and figure out where this whole journey really begins for you. When you look at this whole blueprint at once, it can still seem like a lot. I get it. But here's the main thing to remember, the big takeaway. You do not have to do it all at once. The entire system, every single success story, it all boils down to making a decision to take one small action and then just doing it again tomorrow. That's it. That is the whole secret. So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. Forget about next year or even next month. What is one tiny, almost laughably simple action you can commit to doing starting today? Just one thing. Because that single step, repeated tomorrow and the day after, that is how real, powerful, lasting change actually happens.